Excellent. Okay then. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. Well, welcome to the Assemble Adventures presents Gendermaker, a stream game of the Pathfinder Kingmaker module. This is a charity game with all proceeds going towards gendered intelligence. We're a charity who help trans and gender diverse children across the UK. There's a local giving link that should be being provided by Nightbot, where you can donate and affect the game as you go. Joining me, I am Alex, I'm the very humble GM. Joining me are Johnny, Stuart, Lucy, and James, our intrepid heroes. So on our previous session, after slaying the Stag Lord and taking over his fort to form the basis of a new settlement, the party began exploring around. I've found some places of interest already in this area, particularly the location of a few fae that are in this region. You first went off to visit the hut of the old Beldame, a supposed witch who has a home out in a swamp off to the southwest. You visited the old Beldame and found her to be crotchety but not hostile. And she's provided you with a task to do if you want to make her less unfriendly at you, of picking some rare mushrooms in a region across the room from where you are. That is KO5, just to the southeast of you on the map. But there's also a few other regions of interest. Gore, from conversations with the locals, have found a potential area for a new settlement to complement the two that you currently have, and the location of some other fae and their groves. So, as we come in, you have packed up your things and have left the swamp region where the old Beldame has her home. So the sky's the limit on where you would like to go next.
I want to fight something.
Good plan.
So weren't we looking at moving slowly westwards and then investigating the swamp?
Yes.
The Hooktongue Slough.
Bless you.
I believe so. There was reports of a problem that, if left unchecked, will become a bigger problem later. But I am still tempted to head sort of north and sort of investigate these areas.
Yeah, I was just looking at that and thinking that sounds like what we're going to do. So there's the Nixie potential settlement with Tatzelworm problem, and then a Dryad. Is that what that's saying?
There's a Dryad, yes.
Yeah, before we head to the Hooktongue Slough.
Having a potential settlement closer to where the slough is would be useful for a place to go back to.
Yeah. At some point, I would like to head back to the old Sycamore and continue investigating that, because I think there was some stuff that we didn't. There were some little clues towards things that we didn't quite.
Figure out.
Yeah. Plus that giant centipede, which could probably be a problem if not checked.
True. I think the general plan was last time to just keep heading west and loop around and then come back again.
Yeah, I think the old Sycamore was kind of like we could do that later. Definitely head west and sort of yo-yo our way back afterwards.
We were also sending an envoy, or have sent an envoy to the east.
Yeah, to the neighbouring barony.
It's the general hey neighbour.
Good.
Yes, you send them off last session. It is probably going to be a few weeks to a month before they come back.
Cool. The west it is then.
It's a long way. So are you heading back through Shrikeball? is the first question.
It's either that or go cross country, isn't it?
Yeah. So I mean, heading back to Strike Wall, if we need to resupply?
I have no idea the logistics of what we need at the minute. Alex, do we have enough supplies if we don't go via Strike Wall, or?
Yeah, most likely. It heading through the swamp is it's going to take a longer time than going through the plains. Obviously, it's more difficult ground. But you can kind of just skirt around and head through if you don't want to go through the city proper. Well, village at this point. It's just whether you want to go back and touch base before you move on. You have enough supplies to go around if you'd like to.
Like, the only advantage of going through the swamp is like maybe exploring a bit more in case there's anything in there, but it's also walking through a swamp. There's likely to be a lot of stuff in there.
I say we just do it, right?
Yeah. Let's just head to wherever this Nixie is meant to be.
So let's go. Yeah, I'm feeling good about. I'm feeling good about northwest, northwest, west northwest. Unsure. That way. 4 points.
Okay.
I think north.
So you start making your way northwest. You know, there's a ford where you can cross the river without having to swim. And as you start heading up towards the river, you start hearing the sounds of unintelligible cursing coming through the woods. Cursing in the sense of swearing, not magic. Just visible through the trees, a small wagon in the middle of the river, as the waters threaten to overlap its sides. You can see two ponies hitched to the wagon, thrashing as they're pretty close to pass. Two more wagons on the far back of the river to you.
I take it there's people about as well, or is it just?
You can't see any yet. Mara, you'll immediately notice that these wagons are they look like a suitable size for you.
People wagons. Excellent.
So these are probably halflings or gnomes.
Or goblins.
Or goblins. Small people, definitely.
What language is the cursing in?
Give me a perception check. I'll see what you can hear.
Okay, and free inspo.
It's a mixture of gnomish and common.
Okay.
I speak gnome. Yay!
As do I.
So you pick out basically a small group of voices with one over the top, clearly giving orders. The gnomish that you can catch is all very not safe for work language. Sounds like they're giving orders in common and swearing in gnomish. So
Mara, maybe you want to lead the way in this, as
Okay.
Gore. Maybe you want to go and lend some muscle to this.
Let's. I'll put my best friendly foot forward as Gore will shout out as loud as he can. Hello, do you need some help?
Okay, so you're approaching openly.
Yeah.
Cool beans. So heading into the river ford, you can see there are 9 gnomes here. Looks like a group that's all together. There's one at the front of them who has dark black hair, glasses, and is giving orders in a very authoritative tone.
You look a bit stuck.
And there's a small group of dead kobolds, kind of lying half floating in the river.
I'm going to sign language to Coriel. Ambush question mark. Just to get him on his toes.
Yeah, so I will kind of can I make like an assessment of the group and figure out what vibe they're giving off, if this feels like bait, or if they are genuinely in.
Yep,
some
you
sort
can certainly make a sense motive check for me.
Cool.
Can I give him any sort of help with that? Can I also make a sense motive check?
Yes. So helping is you do a DC 10 check. If you get 10 or more,
DC 15 for me.
15. Sorry. You have 15 or more, you help with the check. I give a bonus.
I got a 13, so no.
Okay, you don't help or hinder.
3 inspo, so 22.
Yep. So you get a pretty quick picture of what's going on. It looks like the gnomes got into a fight with kobolds, and the horse, like one of the wagon's horses, panicked, ran off into the river, and got themselves stuck.
So yeah, I'll just I will quickly sign back to Jin, like all peaches and gravy kind of thing.
I'm sure I'm not getting that word right. I could have sworn you said peaches and gravy. Yeah. Follow Gorin. Anything we can do to help? Get the horse calmed down, or get it out of the water at least.
So one of the gnomes in the group turns to acknowledge the sound, spots Gore, and says, "Hey, we need a hand here." And then the person at the front says, "Pipe down! Do you want every single bandit to walk in on this area, not undefended caravan?"
I assure you, we're not bandits. We have a lot of stake in this area, so we want to keep the law.
He's in charge.
Okay, important question. Jin, are you wearing your coronet, which marks you as a baron?
I think I have a feeling like the group would make sure I'm wearing it at all times. If I try and take it off, like one of them will constantly remind me to put it back on again. So yes, possibly.
Absolutely, yes.
Jin, you left this behind.
Adjusts his glasses, looks you over, and says, "Well, if my eyes don't deceive me, that's a baron's coronet you're wearing."
Newly appointed.
So either you're a very accomplished bandit, or you're actually the person who's in charge of these lands.
Second one.
Yeah, in charge.
Well, I suppose it makes sense that the baron of lands as terrible as these have an equally unrecognizable ruler. I suppose we could use your assistance.
Well, with diplomacy like that, how can I refuse? Gore, can you get the pony out of the water?
I can certainly give it a try. I'm going to start off for handle animal because I assume the pony is quite stressed.
Okay, so the first thing you will need to do is get to the wagon. The area where the kobolds are is an area of like calmer water, but just before it is a set of like closer to rapids, where the wagon has gotten itself lost to.
Wow. If only I knew water walking.
I will try and swim up.
Can we put a rope on Gord just in case?
I'm a pretty good swimmer.
Okay, so just need to double check what stats. So I'm not as familiar as I would like to be. 1 second. Okay. So you can either use acrobatics to clamber over the rocks and get to the wagon that way, or swim.
I will try swimming.
I will not be going anywhere near the water.
Gore will take off his big backpack and place it with the group. Sort of. He'll probably. 'Cause I think it imposes a modifier. It does. Gore will also just very quickly just sort of pull off his scale mail to make the swimming easier. And then he will go for a swim.
If he comes out of the water in slow motion, we're having words.
23.
Lovely. So you're easily able to make it with a good amount of time. There you are. Would anyone else like to do anything while Gore is swimming out?
I'm going to have a surreptitious but entirely innocent just look over what's in these carts and wagons and things.
Sure, give me a perception check.
So to check my visibility, should we just start issuing contrabanding orders in no rush?
Okay, that is very, very good. So there's a lot. There's a decent amount you can't see just because they are inside of wagons, and fortunately you can't see through walls. But
Not yet.
From the things that the gnomes are carrying on them, from stuff that's been piled outside and on the riverbanks, and what you can see on the wagons themselves, it looks like survey equipment. There's a lot of you can see like a trunk of maps. You can see like a lot of like rope pickaxes, shovels, all that kind of thing. It looks like these gnomes are prepared for a. So they brought survey equipment with them. They also have like a light amount of combat equipment with them, like armor and weapons, all gnome sized.
Purely sort of defense when they need it, kind of thing.
Yeah. It's not an armory. It's just like leather armor and a few weapons.
Like that. Cool.
So your best guess is you also spot a few items that you're pretty sure are magical, but just from a brief glance, you're not sure what they do.
That's fair. What are the kobold bodies like? Are they like
So these are soot scale kobolds. You recognise
right?
the ash covering on the ones that aren't currently in the river and thus being washed.
What sort of like are there like obvious wounds? Does it look like they've been magically?
You see like small stab wounds in them.
And the condition of those, does it look like it was a the kobolds picked the wrong fight, or was it fairly evenly pitched?
Um, from the look of things, your best guess is something along the lines of a group of kobolds came down, the gnomes attacked them, killed 2 of them, the rest ran away.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, Gore. You've managed to swim your way on top of the wagon. The 2 ponies that are leading the wagon are currently hitched onto the wagon and are on the state of panicking.
I would like to try and calm them down with some animal handling.
Okay, absolutely.
I am less good at a 17.
Okie doke. 1 second, because just need to double check some stats. Okay. So these ponies are quite well trained. It's just that they've been riled up by the situation that you're in. As soon as they feel kind of a steady hand on the reins and a pat on the butt for them, they quickly start to calm down to the stage that you're pretty confident you'll be able to kind of unhitch them without them bolting. They'll probably make their way back to shore.
Sorry, can you say that again?
Yep. So you're able to calm the ponies down pretty easily.
Yep.
To the point that you're pretty sure that if you unhitch them now, rather than bolting, they'll kind of wade their way back to shore.
Okay. I will. If I unhitch the ponies, is the wagon going to start being dragged away, or is the wagon firmly stuck?
Being dragged away.
It's currently being dragged away.
But it's basically like there will be time for you to fit yourself as well.
So what do I feel that I have suitable strength to help the ponies pull the wagon out?
On your own, it will be difficult.
Wait, hang on. I've got an idea. Mara is going to brew up an enlarged person potion and is going to attempt to yeet it across to Gore with the power of my throw anything skill.
Okay, so Mara, do a thrown weapon attack, and we'll see how that goes. So as if you're throwing something. So the gnome leader starts notices what Gore's doing, and then quickly starts giving orders to his fellow gnomes, and then points at Coriel as though he is one of the gnomes.
Not good. Not good.
And starts saying, "All right, you, and you. Go and get some ropes. We're going to lash it on, and all pull together."
Bit far.
Right. Let's see.
Arguably, the attack DC for a grid intersection is 5 for thrown weapons.
Gore, while you're working on unhinging the ponies, you are clunked in the head with a bottle. Take 2 points of non-lethal damage.
Sorry.
I'll very quickly scramble to grab the bottle for it, it gets washed away.
So Coriel is definitely going to sort of stand there and just kind of spend a few seconds just did he just bark an order at me?
Oh, Jin's playing conveniently deaf with that order.
Hmm. Charitable. means.
Coriel, could you be so kind as to take an inventory of these travelers in my land's stock, so that should anything go wrong, we have a rough idea of what they have.
By all means, yeah.
Well, we're currently missing a wagon, Your Grace. So
Oh no,
unless you'd like,
I can see it. It's right there. Would you like some help?
the gnome looks you up and down with obvious disdain, and then very performatively bows, says, "If you would be so kind, Your Grace, as to offer your benevolent services, please help us not have my ponies drown."
Go or hire the ponies.
Go sort of like treading water a little bit whilst chugging a potion, just puts a thumbs up.
He's working on it.
You can see Gore visibly start growing in size from like behind the wagon, because this is not a large wagon.
As you can see, my people are working on it as we speak. Jins went into full lowly soldier customer support mode, trying to be as sarcastic as possible while still getting away with it.
Strong
Wonderful.
skill.
Now grab some ropes and throw them towards the wagon, if you would.
Yeah, not so much on the throwing today. I'm 0 for 1 so far.
Coriel will take a rope and then just kind of stand there with it like, there is a word you're missing.
It starts with a P.
Don't help him,
first,
Mara.
he first swears in Gnomish, and then in Gnomish starts directing his people to do it.
It's like Coriel is holding one of the ropes. It's like, I will do it. You are just missing that word.
That's fine. The leader has just elected to ignore you at this point, and is now giving orders in a similar authoritative tone, but you can sense there's a lot less venom when he's addressing his expedition.
I will say to him in Gnomish, I will help out. You just need to say it nicely.
I believe everybody's very stressed, and perhaps some deep breaths and a calmer tone may get more cooperation.
I'm going to throw you in the river in a minute.
Oh,
Please
I wish
help.
you would try.
It's like points at the slowly increasing in mass orc. Like, not a good idea.
But he has said the magic word after promising to throw you.
Okay. Yeah, Coriel will help out with the rope and that, like, start sort of wading into the water, at least like knee deep into the water.
Okie dokie. So, of the player people, who is helping with rope stuff, who is stepping back to let the gnomes out? So Coriel is helping. Mara, are you helping?
I'm probably not very good at the actual throwing the ropes bit because they look heavy. But I'll be doing my best to like untangle them and get them all like straightened out and laid out nicely so that they can be passed easily.
Yeah. So this will be an athletics check, just to give an indication. Jen, will you be helping, or are you stepping back?
I'm sort of doing a sort of similar to Mara in that I don't think I'm very good at the athletics either. So I think it's probably best if I just sort of help at the back and try and look sort of authoritative while I'm doing it, rather than like getting I'm somewhere. This guy clearly has an impression of what a leader should be, so I'm like sort of half playing up to it just for badness. And
Okay, so
Would instead of like athletics or anything like, would you accept a profession sailor check for anything involving ropes?
oh, that makes sense. So, Gore, please make a strength check. You are enlarged, which I believe will add bonuses for you.
I will ping exactly what it does, but I
Thank you,
believe
Mara.
you have advantage.
Increase doubling his height and multiply his weight by 8. +2 size bonus to strength checks.
Oh, it's not as good as I thought it was. I thought it also gave you advantage. Never mind.
+2 strength checks, distance to AC. I occupy a space that's a minimum of 10 foot wide, 10 foot long. Area.
we just use Gore as a dam.
I'm enormous right now, so I'm just going to add +2 to my strength.
You can also rage if you would like to.
That was my next step is to rage, which
Get
gives
angry, Gore.
Oh, you're gonna love. Hang on, you're gonna love this in a second. So I'm gonna rage, which gives me another. +2 bonus to all strength and constitution based skills. There we go. So that will put me up to effective strength 20 and counts a large creature for all rules purposes.
You are a large creature.
Yeah. What check would you like me to roll?
It's straight strength, please.
Right strength.
So isn't it? It's a +4 bonus to strength, isn't it? Which is a +2 bonus to strength based.
Oh. In which
That's
case,
that's really weirdly worded.
It is really weirdly worded. Right, we'll roll this.
So with the barbarian one, it's because I'm borrowing from the Unchained Barbarian. So James doesn't have to constantly stick his strength score up and down.
Right.
Yeah, so add a +2 to this result. 25.
Lovely. And Coriel, give me your sailor check, please.
I'm going to throw an inspiration on that. So 25.
Off.
Okay, and then roll some gnome stuff. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so Coriel, you call on your knowledge as a sailor. This is probably not the first time you've had to do something like this, like getting a rope out to a ship that's drifting out in order to pull it back onto shore. Gore, they're absolutely gigantic. Heads over to the side of the wagon, which is barely ankle deep at this point, to the giant half orc, and shunts as several of the gnomes together also tie up some ropes and pull alongside, and between the 5 of you, you're able to haul through and pull them back into shore. Where it is, yeah, it's obviously the bottom of it is soaked through and muddy, but it looks like nothing serious has been damaged.
Hooray!
Yay!
I love this idea of this giant like 10-foot tall half orc that steps out and just places the carriage on the ground.
Gulliver's Travels. There
So-
you go.
So one thing to ask is, Gord, do you want to say anything about how things look while you're raging?
Yeah. So, when Gore comes out of the water, you can clearly see that he's raging. Like you can see, like all his muscles are all inflamed. All of his you can see he has a look about him, but he looks incredibly calm from the outside. Like frothing kind of like feralness that you have seen recently, like the last sort of time you saw a gore fight, has gone. But what you see instead are tiny flakes of gold on his cheeks, across his forehead, and along his arms. And those of you who kind of get close enough to sort of like look at it, you notice it looks a bit like dragon scales.
Omar is absolutely invading your personal space to get a closer look.
How many rounds of raging would you like to have used up for that?
Just the one. It was
Just the
you
one.
managed to solve it in one big shot. So you can end rage after a round if you'd like.
That's right. So Gore will sort of derage, and you sort of see the sort of like the golden sort of scales and sort of on his skin just sort of fade away as he sort of go back to his normal self.
I'm doing the Mr. Darcy even like turn to Corey. I was like, was he wearing a white shirt when he went into the water? I don't remember.
Oh, I do like a hair flick as well, obviously.
Beautiful.
That's a gallon of water. It's no.
So after about a minute or so of getting the ponies back on onto the water, a few of the gnomes going inside to inventory what's there, check if anything's been damaged by the water, checking the wheels, things like that. Eventually, the small bodies, big heads pop out and give a thumbs up. And the leader of the group adjusts his glasses again, pats himself down. He's you can see outside of the kind of adrenaline rush of the situation, you can see this guy's quite bruised. He's taken a few knocks from the fight he's clearly been through. Cleans off his glasses, puts them back on, says, "Well then, Your Grace, your roads are in an extremely sorry state, I have to say."
I don't think you'll find we've only just taken position. But well, thank you for your feedback. We'll definitely look into the state of the roads. Coriel, if you'd like to make a note of that, something else to troubleshoot.
Sure. Yeah.
This is Coriel. He's my main troubleshooter. He deals with a lot of my problems.
And I'm the main troublemaker.
So is he. Well, my name is Jubilas Narthorple.
Pleasure to meet you.
Pause, and there's a
So was that Jubileus Narthorple?
Jubilost Narthorple. He says it in the tone that you'd expect someone to recognize it, as though he'd said, "My name is Gordon Ramsay."
Even if I did recognize it, I don't think I would try and show any sort of recognition.
If
Yes,
anyone
of
is
course. Of the oh god, what's the name of the main city nearby? Can't remember the name of the city.
Pitax is probably the most famous one.
I was thinking of the one that we were in just a little while ago.
Oh yes, that is not Rosland, but it's I should.
Part of Brevoy, isn't it?
Yes. I'm going to say it's Rossland, and correct myself if I get that wrong.
The Rossland Narthorples.
So anyone who's trained in knowledge local can give me a check.
No.
Oh, I can do that.
Okay.
And free inspo, 18.
Cool. So you do actually recognize the name. Jubileus Narthorple is a fairly famous author and explorer. He's written a lot of like almanacs of different areas of Galarian, as well as a very famous cooking series. You also do go, oh, that's why this guy's a bit of a dick, because Jubilos Northropple is known for very, very brutally honest reviews.
So he is Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah,
See, he's foul-mouthed. He's foul-mouthed, self-important.
But yes, you recognise the name as he says it.
Okay.
Do not acknowledge.
I'll write his name down for you.
It's Jublius Narfuffle. I'm sorry. Yeah, Jublius Narfuffle.
What brings you to my humble barony, Mr. Northripple? Am I saying that right? I'm not. My knowledge isn't very good.
Don't worry, I can tell. You're not the worst person to have butchered my name. You can call me Jubilost.
I'm usually so good at butchery.
Well, didn't know it was your barony, first of all.
I'm having trouble remembering that myself.
But it was a lawless wasteland populated with nothing but bandits. It seems I was mostly.
He took possession about 3 days ago.
Hmm.
A bit new.
He stops and writes something down. I see. Well, this happens to be a place, in case you didn't know, this happens to be an area where the material world, first world, the world of Fae, says in a tone of, like, I don't expect you to understand this, but the barrier between these two realms is rather thin.
Oh, is that why you got kidnapped by Mist that one time? Addressing to Gore.
Maybe. It might also explain why there's a large number of Fae in this area.
2.
Yes, my compatriots and I have been making maps of the region, studying the phenomenon, and cataloguing what we can find, see if we can learn anything useful from this, for want of a better word, intrusion of the first world.
It's very interesting. I'd like to see these maps sometimes of my barony, especially the ones of my barony.
Certainly, I've drawn quite extensive maps of the region. You can have them for 1,000 gold pieces for each one.
I'm just blowing a raspberry at him.
1,000 gold
Cor-
for anything.
Coriel's eyebrows have like hit the stratosphere, just like, really now?
I'll give you this for free, Coriol. It's this is Jubilos's way of saying no, unless you can convince him.
Oh, is he looking to haggle? I mean, that
Not haggle necessarily. It's give me a reason to give them to you.
now we have just helped you secure one of your wagons and prevent the loss of 2 of your ponies into this river. So, I mean, not necessarily for free, but at least you'd expect some sort of gratitude in some respect, like even like a considerably reduced price for what is essentially a decorated piece of paper.
Just to add, if you want us to fix the roads, obviously we're going to fix the roads anyway because that's now our responsibility. But if you want us to fix the roads quicker and make your life more convenient, it would help if we knew where the sodding roads were. Because we don't right now. We're kind of figuring that out still.
Well, currently nowhere, unless you count the Dwarven ruins over to the west.
like us to build some roads, it would help if we knew what the terrain was.
Well,
here's a different thought. Obviously, we've done you a favor, and a favor in return could also be appreciated. But let's consider a possible business deal, for lack of a better way of putting it. If you're willing to help us out with the cartography of this region, of these lands, and therefore helping us keep a census of highways, byways, any sort of like traversable trails, roads, etc. How about if we have you as an official cartographer for the region with exclusive
Travel rights,
exploration, and obviously therefore a
discounting establishments in the area.
That I was thinking, like, almost like a sponsorship kind of thing. You are the official cartographer for a newly established and up and coming barony in these realms.
Hmm.
Do you need a check?
No, I think that was very well stated. Jubos will think on that for a moment and say, now that you mention it, that does raise an important question now that we're out of the water. Your Grace, I assume you have some kind of writ of settlement for this region, or at least a writ of exploration. I assume you didn't just walk in here and declare yourself Baron.
No, we dealt with the last person that did that. We did it
So
officially.
I will say, our character, you do have that.
They say we've got the notice of settlement and the writ of exploration from when we first set out.
It's probably in Gore's backpack at the minute.
May I see them, please?
Gore's currently like wringing out his socks, but sort of like points to a very specific pouch in the backpack.
I'll just Here you go. I think you'll find everything is in order.
Stuffed into a backpack. Yes, I suppose that does track with everything else. But yes, if I may.
Gore sort of mutters under his breath, "What's wrong?"
So do you hand them over or just show them?
I'll actually hand them to him, but I'll be standing as close as I comfortably can.
Okay. Jubilus opens them up. Scans through it very, very quickly. You can tell just from a glance, this guy's a very, very quick reader. Look through it, goes. Ah, the Eldor eyes. Now everything makes sense. Hands them back to you.
So,
I'd recommend getting a copy of those made and stored in your capital city, Your Grace. These are extraordinarily important documents for any sort of legitimacy to your claim to the region here.
We will do that. Probably, unless we forget. We might forget.
Or at the very least, store them somewhere more secure than, no offense to you, good sir, a random orc's backpack.
I have a lot of faith in this random orc's backpack. But yes, a copy would be wise. Thank you for such good advice.
Well, you seem to have, at the very least, a convincing bordery, but most likely a genuine article of exploration. I would like to see what you've explored already, if you wouldn't mind.
I do believe we have a map somewhere. One of us has a map, right?
Probably Coriel's probably the type to have stashed that somewhere in his haversack. So I will pull out a map with the sort of the marks of where we've explored fully. and obviously the points of interest we've got at the moment.
Okay. So see what we've got.
While you're looking at our map, perhaps we could have a quick look at yours to compare notes.
We'll see, Your Grace. These are trade secrets, after. You can appreciate, given that you have a right of exploration, just how valuable it is to have an area mapped out and explored. And that's not something I intend to divest with simply because someone did me a favor. Otherwise, I would have to hand out my maps to every single person I gave to hold me on the road or gave me a drink of water.
Yes, but
You could
not
understand.
everybody in the road is the actual grace of the lands.
So he starts reading through what you've marked out. Really goes. Yes, you found the tunnel worm there. Yes, you found this. Looks like you've been inside the sycamore. We never got close.
Our diplomacy worked well for us.
Did you happen to map out the tunnel system inside the route network?
Not
We can't
fully.
just give away secrets like that, can we?
Oh, very funny, Grace. But did you?
Doesn't reply.
Because if you did, I'd be willing to trade that information for one of my maps.
We'd have to see the map you're trading it for.
So, do you go the maps that he's already marked out regions? You can see he's mapped out pretty much the entirety of the green belt, which is this region up here, as well as everything in Narlands that you've already gone through.
Have a quick look around the group. Sign to Coriel. Do you think it's worth it? Sign to anybody else that actually knows the sign language as well.
So a lot of it you've already been through yourself. So, for example, he's got the area where he marked out as having Fae as the two Fae that you met earlier on in your adventure, the sprite dragon and the little cricket woman. He has marked out two lairs, so like animal lairs, that you haven't come across.
So there's a couple of things that he's got that we haven't. But
for the most part, it looks very similar to your map, just a bit more professionally done. Basically, this guy's clearly a cartographer.
So I'll sort of make gesture back about good quality, but doesn't really possess a huge amount of information we didn't already know.
And this area marked out as Banded Stronghold. I assume this is where you set up your settlement. Yeah, he marks out the area where Shrike Wall is.
Yeah, that lines up.
Yeah, where we dealt with the previous bloodthirsty bandits that were terrorizing this land.
Yes, that makes sense. It's a good place, very defensible, affords large views of the regions around. Well then, I suppose we have things caught up then. you are, if I may say so myself, quite competent amateur cartographers.
And you seem to be getting a good grasp of cartography yourself.
He smiles, but in the sense that you've just called Gordon Ramsay a pretty decent cook.
I know, he's being a shit to me, so I'm being a shit back.
Well, I suppose if this region has been mapped around, there are a few areas I've been trying to locate, and I would be willing to offer a reward if you are able, if you happen across them in your travels.
How about this? As part of a deal, we will check these areas out when we find ourselves in these areas. You will continue cartographing these lands under my goodwill, and we will give you notes and writs to say as such. We have accumulated quite good favor with other people in these lands, and hopefully they will extend that to you. In response, anything you happen to discover, you send information to us, and we keep that vice versa.
Well, I'll see what the others in your region have to say, but I'm willing to make my way over to your settlement, see what I can find, and of course I don't know where these regions are that I'm looking for. Otherwise, I would have found them already. But there's a particular set of dwarven ruins in the southern greenbelt, just across the river from here. He points roughly southwest. Somewhere in this region. And if you happen to come across it, I would be very interested in finding out, especially if you can map the region. This is a very ancient dwarven settlement that has been abandoned for some time, but as you can appreciate, dwarven engineering is such that a lot of the major mechanics are likely to be intact, as well as a trade road.
Interesting.
In the meantime, I will rest my people over at your settlement and work on formalizing a map of the region, which I could donate to your Grace's records once it is completed.
Thank you very much. So perhaps as a show of good faith, we will give you the map of the Sycamore, and you make a few notes on our map of some of the places that we haven't been to yet.
I would appreciate that.
Yeah, so then while he's doing that, I'll write up a letter saying, under the authority of His Grace, and like shuddering as I'm writing it, Jin Thorgage, dubious nipple person, has my hospitality and favor, and should be treated as such while on official cartography business, yada yada yada. Ask Maria and Coriel to add in some flavor of their own, like some extra fancy words, things like that.
So Coriel's probably the one with the penmanship.
Yeah, Coriel probably takes the pen off of Jin, who just writes like a soldier scratch.
If you actually give Mara a letter to make an addition to, it's probably a slightly wonky scribble in the corner that says "Be nice or I'll bite you."
Reads through it and says, "While I don't need your permission to walk through these lands, I do appreciate the gesture, Your Grace." And rolls off the letter and sticks it in a patch and says, "Well, in a similar gesture of something you don't need, but the gesture is appreciated nonetheless." He unhooks his sword from his belt and says, "Suppose I won't need this anymore if this land is under protection." And hands it over. It's a short sword.
Small size one, I'm assuming.
Yes. So probably closer to a dagger for you, Coriel. But it's clearly very well made. As I mentioned, this region exists in a nexus between this world and the first world. One thing you need to know about Fae is that sometimes, unfortunately, not all of them, friendly type. So we commissioned cold iron weaponry, just in case.
Fair enough.
So he holds it out for whoever takes it. So for Mora, it would be a short sword. For anyone medium-sized, it will be a dagger.
And probably carry a size penalty with it as well.
I'll rule it as it's a regular dagger if
Okay.
you're holding it.
I'm no good with the stabby weapons.
Just, I could take it, but I'm not exactly. I have a very limited scope of what weapons I'm actually very good with, and that's mostly just rapiers. I'll take it purely because we've at least somebody's got it then.
Rapier, you say? We may have one of those around, but it may require some adjustment work to make it work at your size.
I'll be fine. Don't worry. I don't want to deprive you of items that could probably, like you say, you don't think you're going to need weapons, knowing that these lands are now under like somebody's jurisdiction, but I'd rather not deprive people of necessary items.
I can part with one weapon without becoming a pauper, Coriel.
Which is why we're taking this.
All right then.
I'm just saying, like, don't supply me with anything extra. Unless, well, actually, are you saying that instead of the rapier instead of the short sword?
Yes, but we can certainly part with one of our weapons, just as a gesture of goodwill.
Then I will happily take the rapier in the place of this.
Okay. So he breaks through one of the wagons and comes out with a masterwork cold iron rapier, currently built for small people.
Cool.
I'll rule it as head into, basically if you head into town, someone will be able to do the requisite work to kind of lengthen it out so it fits properly. You'll have a small slice penalty until then.
Is that a -2?
I believe so, yes. Yeah, it's basically just like the grip on it is clearly designed for someone with a significantly smaller hand than you, which means you can use it. It's just doesn't zig and zag in the right place. But it is very clearly cold iron.
I wonder if we can make like a cold iron shrapnel ball.
And we'll hitch our wagons up and be on our way.
Safe travels.
Do let us know if you come across those ruins.
Of course.
Don't fall in any more rivers.
Jubilos gives you a pained expression, but doesn't say anything. And they hook the pony back up onto the wagon and start trundling off in the direction of Drakewall. within a few minutes they are off into the tree line and out of the way.
Jin visibly relaxes as soon as they're out. I hate bureaucrats.
He had an ego, and that's coming from me.
Mm.
You're rude.
Okay, so things have settled down nicely. All that's left is the river that kind of starts as a rapid and then hits some rocks and then calms, so that there's a ford you can cross over the river with. Because currently you're on the southern bank.
Do we need to make any sort of checks to get across that river?
Nope. It's just basically a wade across.
Yeah, let's get ourselves across as dry as possible, and if needs be, we'll have a quick stop and dry off. I'm sure the swamp will attempt to get us soaked as much as possible anyway, so.
I mean, at least some chances to get dried whelps, like at least delay us getting trench foot.
Jin nods like, solemnly at that point.
Yes, the river is at the stage it's coming across. It's there's enough like water level there so that it's ankle deep, if that, probably knee deep to Mara. But it's just this is a point you could walk across without any issue.
Okay.
Okay, so where to next?
I believe the
Where
Nixie.
we head? Yeah, where we're heading west to see the Nixie.
Okay. I will prep things up. Give me just a second. Looks like everything. So heading towards the area that's marked out as the Nixies region. Anyone who has knowledge, nature, or arcana can make a check here as you're going across, just to recall what you remember about Nixies.
Oh, I've got a nature check. Go on, big brain. Yes.
Much of a muchness for me, so. Boop.
Damn it, Corel.
Jin, Nixies are. Oh, Jin's not here.
And Corel's ability to roll more
I'll
dice.
give the more in details one later. In that case, and give the basic one to Jin when he comes back.
Hang on.
So both of you will know that Nixies are fae that are associated with small bodies of water. So they'll look after a pond, maybe a lake, something like that. They will very, very rarely leave that area. And are generally prankish, as all fae are, but generally not hostile unless you are doing something to disrupt the area.
Okay.
So don't mess with nature. Got
Mara, you know that Nixies are spellcasters. So they will usually have spells that tend to aid in either hiding or pranks. So Jin, you are recalling what you remember of Nixies as you're heading towards the grove. You know they have something to do with water. But that's all you can really remember of them. You didn't pay much attention.
Okay.
You know, your head is full of all of the, like, you know, hundreds of different kinds of demons that you need to know about. Faye never
Yeah.
really came to it.
Sure.
Okay, so you start making your way over to the next region. You should be on the map now.
That's a lot of people. No people. Are those
The
people?
river makes a sharp bend here, widening into a deep pool dotted with lily pads and fringed with waving reeds. Several freshly felled trees lie beside their stumps on the shore of the pool, their crowns dangling in the water among fading tendrils of mist. Okay, and then as you walk in, you can see a small group of humans. They are all very clearly lumberjacks. They're all carrying, you know, big wood chopping axes.
Okay.
Standing next to trees that have been knocked down. Doesn't require any kind of check to know instantly these guys are lumberjacks. There's a group of them together, angrily shouting across into the lake, where you can see the Nixie. It's a blue-skinned woman with, like, you know, weeds and wildflowers woven through her hair. And two loggers standing knee deep in the lake, facing the other two with blank expressions on their faces.
As Gora would say, hello, how are we all today?
So one of the loggers looks over, clogs to Jin and says, "Ah, so your grace, isn't it, for barons?"
Sure.
Good to see you. My name's Korax. These are my men.
Go ahead.
So we were just hoping to start logging operations in this region. You know, just obviously you've got plenty of stuff that needs building, right? So we're getting right on that. And this thing points over to the lake. You can see just the head of the Nixie is above the water. The rest is underneath. Has gone and has stolen two of our men.
Right. And did they give a reason why they did this, or?
So bloody difficult fun to get for a decent man to make a living. All these stupid fairies in the world.
Question. Did you
Yeah.
talk to the Nixie before you started chopping her home down? Because I'd also be quite upset.
This ain't her home, is it? She don't belong here.
According to.
Well, she's a fairy, isn't she? So she comes from the fairy world.
And where are you from originally?
I don't know. We had a settlement up in the Greenbelt, but obviously you've
So
come in and you've started building stuff up. So we set up and started getting logging sorted.
So
So
there's
you're
no.
not from here either. You're from Greenville. So what gives you
Yeah,
more
like-
right to be here than her?
Yeah, we're from a mile up the forest way, love.
And she's from several feet away from
The
here.
fairy world, where the fairies come from.
I mean, people can clearly live in places they're not originally from. You're now living in a place you're not originally from, and so is she.
Well, yeah, so if a fire elemental showed up in your barony, started burning down your homes, you'd be like, "Oh no, well he lives here now."
But you've come chopping down her home, not the other way round. I'm a bit confused about your argument here, mate.
Yeah, because His Grace's barony needs buildings to be set up. That means trees need to be chopped down. It's kind of how it
Yeah.
works.
Yes, that is correct.
And it's
Who
hard
did
enough
you-
to get
who
that
did-
done in
Who
this
did
area.
you ask permission from before chopping these trees down? Maybe I didn't want these trees chopped down.
Hmm.
Maybe these trees were here for defensive purposes.
What if we find somewhere for you to log that isn't someone's home, and she lets your friends back?
Well, you can try talking to her, I guess.
Okay.
If she doesn't throw, just be careful, right? Because those guys are under her sway now, which means she could throw them at you, and then you'd have to kill good people. No, I don't want that to happen, all right?
Yes, we would hate for any good people to die at the moment.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. You want to try and talk to her, be my guest. She was no good to me. No good at all.
Yep. Yeah. I'll...
I
So the
Permission.
loggers will kind of take a step back and start mumbling to themselves about bloody fairies. But they'll give you a passage to get through. Okay.
What's your name? Amara.
So the Nixie is currently like just her head is visible. Once Jin gets to that sort of area, the loggers in like automaton unison raise their axes and like just a clear display of that's far enough.
How can we help?
Are you the one who is in charge here? She says, in a very calm voice.
I'm the one trying to be in charge here, yes.
Okay, give is your skills. So she disappears under the water for a moment and then climbs out of the climbs up onto the bank with the two its saucer loggers on either side of it. I am Meliance, and this is my grove. Welcome you.
Thank you for allowing us this close.
Could you please get these people off of my grove?
We are doing our very best to. Could you please perhaps let me know how far your grove extends? So that we know where the boundary of it is.
She gestures to the pond first, and then stretches her arms out and circles.
Does that give anyway a clear boundary or just the pond?
It's a gesture of like this area, but there's no clear boundary.
Is it merely out of sight you want these gentlemen, or is there a specific distance you wish them away from your home?
Yes. You're the people who are obsessed with lines, boundaries, and exact
A curse
distance.
we must bear, yes.
boundaries are good because they enable clear and healthy communication or something.
I suppose just around here, I had been growing those trees. She points to the ones at the riverbank, the pond bank, for 200 years. And they deserved a better fate than to end up at some peasant's slop table.
Surely you would not begrudge birds from using wood to make their own homes. Unfortunately, it's the nature of us mortals that we need to use trees to create our homes. I apologize for the removal of these you've cared for 200 years. That is the lack of knowledge of where we can take trees from is what befell us there.
I do appreciate that you need to destroy other things in order to create some things. That's how this world works. I would just appreciate it if it wasn't here.
I completely understand. Do you wish? Is there anything you wish to do with these trees that have been felled already, or?
Well, they're dead now. Not much can be done for them there. But I can start over again.
I was about to suggest that perhaps the lumberjacks plant new trees before they leave. But if you wish to take care of that yourself, that is probably better under your control than theirs.
If you can convince them, good luck. I tried. I had to take drastic measures. She gestures to the two loggers next to her.
I understand, and you have to understand that these lumberjacks feel that these measures are extremely drastic. Perhaps if you remove the control from these two gentlemen, I give you my word that no harm will come to you while I am here.
Give me a diplomacy check.
Ugh.
That's a big orc. He can help.
Come on, good roll. Nope.
Oh,
Good night. Good night, everybody. There we go.
Now might be a good time to use one of those charity rerolls.
Do we have charity rerolls? Do we trust me to roll another dice?
You do have 9 of them.
If everybody's happy with me taking another chance at this.
Please roll not 4. A 5.
5! Yay! Wow.
King, my king.
and someone who can't do people.
I have a +2 to diplomacy. I've just rolled like a 2 and a 3 on the dice.
I'm worse. I'm in the negative. I should definitely not be Baron.
Oh dear.
It's not that I don't trust you. And there's a pause as she gestures upwards, indicating you should give her your name.
Oh, my name is Jin.
It's not that I don't trust you, Jen. I'm sure you are a perfectly reasonable person. I don't trust them. And I don't know how a fight between you and them would work out. So you can understand I'm not giving up my only source of protection until they're no longer a threat.
Are you saying that if you had a good idea of what a combat threat would be compared to these individuals who are trying to do their day job, if you were satisfied in a show, that would be enough?
I'd prefer you didn't kill any of them.
Oh, I wouldn't dream of actually hurting anyone. I would just give me a moment. Gore will back down. Gore will stand at a reasonably safe distance. here, and Gore will rage and shout a battle cry as loud as he can and do some sort of large intimidation check as a we do not need to worry about the fight between lumberjacks and a trained combat killer.
Give me an intimidate check.
Of course, I will rage for a +2 bonus. I will use a reroll because I'm not letting that. I'm not letting that stand. There we go. 27. Thank you. God, right. I'll use a rage to do this.
That was very unfortunate because that was a good idea. So I'll say to you now, failing the intimidate check wouldn't have not scared them. It would have just provoked a fight. Because that I think that's a fair interpretation of the check failing rather than you just like, falling over some driftwood or something. But yeah, you let out a roar that you could swear was a dragon's.
If I get even more, hang on, I can put the thing in the chat now. There we go.
Most of the loggers like visibly panic, throw down their axes, and even Corax, who's a bit sterner than the others, goes like, "Fucking hell!"
Gore stops raging, looks a little tired for a moment, and puts his backpack back on.
I'm not speaking anymore. I'm done.
So so Meliance lowers her hands, as she raised them as though she was about to start casting a spell. When Gore roared, and says, "Points taken."
Thank you, Gore.
You're welcome. Oh, there's no water. We'll start looking for his backpack for a suitable water skin.
There might be lozenges in your backpack. Look,
I give me their word, and I'll let these ones go. They can plant the trees and then they can leave.
Can I beckon the leader over?
Yep, certainly. So Chorus will head over. Clearly a little rattled. Like rattled, but still grumpy.
Look, this is her home. That is my word that this is her home. Find somewhere further away to get your trees from. Take the dead trees with you. Plant some new trees, and she will release your friends. You have my word that she will release your friends.
Your words better than fairies, at least. All right. Give me a diplomacy check.
F 6.
It's more than
it's double figures at least.
Good enough. Go reduce the DC for you quite significantly.
Why am I the one in charge of you?
Yeah. If she's got saplings, we'll plant them.
Turn around and look at her. Do you have saplings? If you're going to live in this barony, you will have to expect there is fairies in this barony. If you do not like that, leave.
Yeah, again, a very important lesson on who's in charge around it.
Gore grins.
Yeah, we'll head further up into Greenbelt. Somewhere the fairies don't run the show. Your Grace.
Yeah, maybe check who the neighbors are before you start chopping trees down.
You don't have to know where any of them are, do you? So we can ask permission to cut down woods in our own woods.
My woods.
Oh, yeah, sure. Your woods, your woods.
Coriel, can you show him the map and maybe point out a region to him?
Yeah. Probably somewhere a bit closer to, like, point out an area closer to Shrike Wall, or maybe where where was the that river crossing bandit camp?
One of the ones that we've mapped, so we know there's no amphitheaters in the area.
Yeah, I think the one with that first bandit camp we went to, where there was like bridges and stuff.
The Riverford, yeah.
Yeah, like that is probably one of the safer areas, I think.
Course will look through. Clearly experienced with the region. Says, oh, yeah, there's a few good ones there. Yeah. They've even got. You cleared out the bandits in that area, didn't you?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, cool. They'll have some like fortifications and stuff. We can take
Or
part as well.
And perhaps make sure you plant trees as you go, otherwise you'll run out of work very quickly.
There's a lot of trees here, Grace.
And they will eventually run out if you don't plant more. Tree for a tree.
200 years.
A tree for a tree.
Yeah. All right, I heard you. All right.
Well, if you didn't hear me, I can have ways of shouting louder. Look over at Gorky.
Gore is now like eating a
You wouldn't let us have a crack at the sycamore, would you?
Say again, sorry?
You wouldn't let us have a crack at that big sycamore, would you?
No. Not right now.
For your own safety, no.
I wouldn't advise it. There's a really, really big centipede underneath it. Like, really big. Like, bigger than him.
Yeah, I'm not messing with one of those. Anything bigger than wolves. No, thank you. All right, it's worth a crack. All right, do you let them go? We'll do the planting and all that stuff. All right.
I think it was originally that you plant and then she'll let them go, but we essentially Jim will hang around long enough to make sure that those two guys are released and they plant the trees and everything is all the parts of the
No,
deal.
don't worry, Grace. I think he was in charge. And then he'll gather up his men and start digging. They've clearly done this before in that they know how to plant a tree. And start making preparations to like tie up the logs of the trees they've already cut down and taking those off north. Melians waves her hand at the two bloggers on either side of her, kind of blink and look confused. What are we doing over here? Oh, we must have gone. Oh, hello. We they look over. They both look over at you. Are we good? We good? We were shouting half the time. We good?
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Just a little bit of a dispute. Unfortunately, got caught up in. Just follow your fellows out of here, and they'll catch you up on what all happened.
Looks a bit. It's been. Oh, it's been hours. Jeez. Fairy magic messes with you.
Yeah, maybe remember that before you go kicking down trees in fairyland.
And we go where Korax goes, and Korax goes where the good trees are. He's the boss for a reason.
Well,
Knows
everybody
his
answers
trees,
to somebody.
Korax. Anyway, we're going. Don't want to mess with fairies. And they pack up and head off. Start singing a lute song as they walk off.
Song about carpentry, maybe?
No, this seems to be about a very unfavorable lewd song about Jamandi Eldori. Something, swords are mentioned a lot in inappropriate contexts. And then you are alone with Meliance.
Apologies again for people from this region encroaching on your home. We hope if anything else tries to do this, you will alert us swiftly so that we can help deal with it.
So if this were to happen again, is there any kind of generalized notice we can put up that would deter people from encroaching, or is there anything we can do to sort of de-escalate situations before they happen?
Well, my usual motion is just to, I have a few safeguards in place, but I don't know how you, gestures vaguely in your direction, do things.
My initial thought is some sort of boundary marker, but you seem rather vague on where the edge of your boundary is.
We don't do boundaries. But if you want to put signs up or something, or whatever you do, mark a couple of trees without hurting them.
Of course.
That will be fine. And then
should anybody still encroach, perhaps you could use your magics to just send them back out again rather than doing anything harmful to them.
didn't do anything harmful to them.
I know. I didn't say you did.
I
I'm
could have.
saying-
She's got one of her fingers lights on fire. I could have.
Impressive. But perhaps, should anybody else wish to enter these lands, you just turn them around and send them back out again.
All right. I don't know how to deal with mortals wandering. They have a habit of doing that,
Yeah.
And then she kind of just falls backwards into the water and vanishes. And you hear a voice from above the water saying, "Okay, bye then."
Goodbye. Let's move on before we have to do any more diplomacy in this area.
Sound idea, I think.
Gore will finish a sandwich and then catch up.
Okay, we'll move you back onto the main map. And speaking of sandwiches, it's a good place to have a break. So, we can, given that we're going to be ending the session early-ish, so Lucy and James both turn off at 3 o'clock. So I'll either end or wrap things up quickly after then. I'll leave it in your guys' hands. Do you want to do a full half an hour, just a 15-minute break to buy a break, get some water, and then come back in?
I'm fine with 15 if everybody else is.
Yeah, I'm good with 15.
Fine by me.
Cool, lovely. That leaves it in perfect timing because normally a half-hour break would have started 15 minutes ago. So we're going to head off for a 15-minute break, get some water and food and such, and we will be back with you at 2 o'clock. See you later.
Great.
Hello.
What up?
Hello.
So I was sorting out admin stuff while I was prepping things. So you used up 2 rerolls, but thanks to one of the donations from last month, thank you to Joe for that one. You are actually back up to 9 rerolls. Because you went down to 7, then back up to 9.
Whoa.
I love when my admin requires not actually having to do anything. So I have things prepared in case of shenanigans.
Nice.
But hello, doctors. The doctor squad. The doc squad, if you will.
How me and Lucy will be slightly munching in the background, but we are here and present.
Okay, so heading away from Meliance's pond. At this stage, we're getting into mid-afternoon, going into the evening. As you head out back into the Greenbelt proper. So, which direction would you like to go?
West still, I think that was still the plan.
Due west?
I think we were going to go sort of the northwest one, check the Tatzelworms, then go to the Dryad, then carry on west towards Huckton Slough.
Tatzelworms is more likely to be a fight, but
Yes.
if we are able to rest the area that has the potential settlement in, supposedly there'll be a good place to camp.
Yeah. But let's go for the Tasselworms then. I think that was the consensus.
So I will say of your 2 options, resting here is an option. Marianne is a bit rattled by everything that's going on, but probably wouldn't object to you spending the night. The Tatzelworm Den, probably not the best place to try and rest. You will probably get ambushed by Tatzelworms.
Oh, I was more referring, we deal with the Tatzelworms first and then we rest.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine then. Just let you know your options. So you're going to head into the den as it starts crossing into the evening. I'm understanding, right?
Sure.
Yep.
Okay.
How resistant to fire do you think Tasselworms are?
Probably not very.
Let's find out.
That's
You
the
could
thought.
give me a knowledge nature check to see what you remember of them.
My knowledge is 0. I don't think I would know any of them.
So you're not aware of any like specific resistances to fire, even though they are dragon-like. But you do know that Tatzelworms tend to live near water. So although they're not inherently resistant to fire, they may be environmentally resistant to it. Also, you're in the middle of a forest, so setting fires is sometimes dangerous.
Fast die young.
But the main things you know about Tasselworms is that they are ambush predators. They will tend to hide somewhere and then spring out and pounce. And they have poisonous breath.
Gotta harvest me some of them.
Okay, so here's the den. Just gonna make sure it's ready for you.
Before we get, I mean, do we have a rough time scale of how long it's going to take us to find their den? Or
So by the time you get there, it's going to get to, I would say around like 6 or 7 in the evening. So like clearly evening, but with a little bit of time before night falls. So like sun.
I'm just thinking about duration of extracts.
So from where you are to the den will be about 2 hours.
Okay.
Can anyone not see in the dark?
I can see in dim light, but not in absolute darkness.
No.
So of the two, it'll be more dim light than dark. So it will be harder to see unless you have some kind of low light vision. But you know, a regular human would be able to see what's going on.
Okay. So when we're about, I suggest that we take a few moments when we're about 10 minutes away from the den.
Okay.
Just so I can prep up and quaff some extracts. I imagine Mara will want chance to prep stuff up.
Yes, please.
I'm going to prep.
Right. So I'm going to do my standard distributions. So I'll chuck extract of invisibility to Coriel, a bull strength to Gore, a shield to Gore and Jin, and I'll have an expeditious retreat upon myself.
So I'm going to prep up. Anticipate peril, which I think I'd already prepped. Cure light wounds, expeditious retreat, heightened awareness, tears to wine, acute senses and cat's grace.
Oh, here's the wine.
Tears to wine, which I will use now because it's got quite a nice longevity on it. Basically, I'm going to make a sort of average quality sort of mead type drink that if anybody who drinks it, because I can basically make about 2 cubic foot's worth, so that's what, like, that's a fair amount.
A bucket and a bit.
Bucket and a bit of mead, of any sort of water that we can sort of gather into a substance that increases our perception, or perception. So +2 enhancement bonus on all intelligence and wisdom based skill checks for anybody that drinks it for the next 50 minutes.
Yeah, I'd say there's plenty for everyone to have a drink.
Ooh. That tastes great, Coriel.
Lovely.
All hail the magic mead.
Okay, I will drink my potions closer to the time. Is that
Yep,
right,
I was,
Mara?
I was about to ask the two questions are what preparations do you make and how stealthy are you coming up?
I'll stay near the back. It's fine.
Yeah, you've got 6 minutes on you've got 6 minutes on mine, so probably not a great idea to use them just yet.
I understand. I will. I'm more thumbs when it comes to drinking things. I'll take me a little bit of time when the fight kicks off to get going. But I'll try. Thank you.
Okay, so you,
I'm going to just quickly. I'm going to also take my enhanced awareness one because that has quite a long duration on it. So,
okay. So heading forwards, you'll stop basically like a couple of minutes out, and you can see through the tree line. There's a set of like sandy islets in the river that are like breaking up the flow of the water. And there's like debris strewn across some of the islets to create like a natural dam.
I ignored the praise. I hit that button by accident.
No worries. So this is time to ask: are you making any preparations heading up, and how are you attempting to move up stealthily?
I am not the most stealthy person, so I am probably not. I'll
I
probably stay in the back.
will attempt to be somewhat stealthy.
Okay, so I'll the way I'll do it is there are two options for going ahead. So one is that the stealthy people go ahead first, and the others hang back. In which case, if combat breaks out, there'll be a round before the people behind catch up, or you can all try and head together. I'll give you those two options.
If we do option one, in that round we're catching up, can we round and chug large volumes of alchemical liquid?
I'll allow it.
Excellent. I choose option one.
Option one sound good.
Yeah, come on then.
So
I'll be team stealth. Who else is team stealth?
Looks like you and Corey are.
The
And then
alchemist.
Gordon's not hanging back.
Good.
I'm
Okay, can the pair of you make stealth checks for me?
Yep.
As you're getting towards it.
also going to throw inspiration on that.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Doug.
Where did they go?
I love the idea that me and Jin like turn to look at each other for a second and we look back and they're both gone and we're like,
They're gone now, right? So,
they are gone. Now we can discuss our true feelings about Corey.
yeah, he's probably standing beside me, isn't he?
No, I'm right in front of you. As I move closer, I am also going to take my acute senses extract as well.
Okay, I'm going to move you onto the map.
Mm.
So hopefully, if I've done this right, everyone should be able to see the map, but Jin and Gore should not be on the map.
I can't see anything.
I have a black rectangle.
I think it's because if their tokens aren't on, they won't be able to see it.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. I will put you back on the layer. You should now be able to see.
Hooray, I can see.
Vision.
Vision!
I'm going to put you off to one side because you're a round away, basically.
That's vision.
So, as you're heading up, you can see, once you get closer, you can see that the dam that's been roughly built here is clearly not naturally formed. It's been deliberately constructed in the same way. Like, if you imagine a beaver dam, you'd be pretty close, just bigger and with bones in it. As you sneak forwards, you can see there are two tattler worms sunning themselves over on the western bank that you can see. They don't appear to have noticed you.
I would like to take this opportunity to drink my mutagen.
Mhm.
Can I
Which-
make a quick scan over the place, see if I can spot any other tassel worms?
Yep, give me perception checks, or a perception check. Okay.
I'm not even going to add inspiration to that because I feel that's just, you know.
Are you sure?
Oh, it's free.
Did you spot anything on a 51, Alex?
Surprisingly enough, yes.
Unfortunately,
That
the
is
other ones were. They all
So-
roll 52.
where- yeah, even with bonuses, you're able to spot. There's two areas in the dam itself where you're pretty sure there are more tatzelworms lying in wait. Again, you're pretty sure they haven't spotted you. It's just they are burrowed inside the dam.
Okay. I wouldn't be surprised if more popped out of that dam to, well, does Mara speak the sign language, or does Mara know the sign language? Yeah, so definitely will be sort of signing, probably more hidden in the dam, or
Your best guess is at least
approximation.
You do realise Mara's suddenly having slightly more difficulty communicating in sign language, as the second she chugged her mutagen, something new happened, and she sprouted fangs and claws. I don't know if you've ever tried to sign with long nails, but it doesn't go very well.
Mara signs back either okay or pet. Not really sure which one.
Coriel's smart enough to go, I think she means okay.
And then the giant pear drops from the ceiling.
Because at this point, Coriel realised his theories about gravity were correct all along. Okay.
Yeah, so you can see two. There are at least two more in the dam. Possibly three, possibly a bigger one. You're not really sure which.
Please, please, can I just get one really good bomb shot off on the two that are on dry land?
Cut the Jin and Gorsic. I wonder how we'll know if they spot anything.
Maybe we'll get a signal, maybe some sign language or something, which we read
Yeah.
on the eye and the lookout for sign language.
Yeah, so Coriel will give. Well, Coriel's going to take his extract of Cat's Grace. And is just about to take the extract of invisibility that Mara has passed to him, and then just give the nod of chuck it.
Excellent.
Maybe like an oil sign or something, or like some sort of hooting noise.
And then I'm going to take invisibility so that she sees me say chuck it before I go invisible.
Smart choice. Sure.
In that case, I would like to launch a bomb at this tassel worm because I have the
you bad bad.
infused ammo extract, the infused ammo discovery. I can launch it with my slingshot, which has a range of exactly 50 feet.
Hey, that's what we'd like to see.
Maybe some sort of like flare or
Yeah, something subtle or.
like a hoot noise, like woohoo.
Just before I throw that, because we're not in combat yet and I've got time, I will drink my prepared extract of True
Yeah.
Strike.
I'm also going to drink Anticipate Peril.
Shot.
Anticipate peril immediately.
Terrible.
Okay, so
I
Nikki,
spy.
give me your attack roll with a plus 20 bonus.
44 to hit.
Surprisingly enough, that does
Am I-
hit.
Am I rolling d10s or something again? Is every
17 plus 7, that'll do it. Where are you aiming?
So I'm targeting this tassel worm, and
Okay.
splash damage will get the other one.
Cool beans. So you clunk the tassel worm straight on the chest, and the bomb explodes outwards and catches this thing completely off guard. It is very badly hurt from the bomb, and the splash damage injures the other one.
Oh,
So yeah,
I think that might have been the sign.
you hear the boom that indicates
Are
that.
Are you sure, Jin? I don't think that was loud enough.
Everyone, please.
Okay, we'll hold off then and wait.
We're waiting for me to
Everyone, please,
get
roll
a clear
initiative.
signal.
You're right. There wasn't any screaming. Initiative with that, sorry?
Yes, please. So if you click on your token, then roll initiative. It should auto populate you onto the tracker.
I'm sorry, Johnny.
Yes.
Is my dice
Johnny?
set to like D6 or something like that? Seriously?
31 for initiative.
He's going yesterday.
Got plus 17 to initiative. Somehow.
I feel we're all playing extremely different games of Pathfinder.
I suspect that may in fact
I
be
have improved initiative and
Right.
still.
I've increased my dex. I've taken 2 extracts to give me initiative bonuses.
Okay.
I understand. So this is the power of steroids.
Don't take drugs, kids, unless they're lectures. And then
I do enjoy the power of steroids. Thank you, thank you for dosing me. It's appreciated.
Okay, Coriel, it is your turn.
What, really?
Got this. L'Oreal goes first.
Okay. My abilities.
So obviously, there's the two that you can see out in the open. One's roughly about here. One's roughly about here on the other dam structure across the ridge.
Okay. So first action, I'm going to take my extract of Expeditious Retreat. And double my speed. So I am invisible at the minute.
Yep.
So first I'm going to move to about here.
Yep.
Where were the tassel worms? I said there was
I
one.
can't see the
Oh.
one that's hiding.
And there was another one up there, so that's fine.
So it's hiding, but it is also surprised, so you can't go past it without getting hit.
Cool. Yeah, so I'll get to there. So I think that's roughly my full movement. and I'm going to study that one.
Okay.
As a swift action, and that's my turn. Do you need me to make a stealth check?
No, you're invisible. I will let you just succeed.
Okay. I was going to say I've been moving as well, and I've just walked across whatever the dam's constructed of, and I wasn't going slowly, so
That's fine. They are caught off guard. Mara has had her exit. Okay, Jin, you hear the boom and start heading up.
Okay. I am going
The
to.
Williams are caught off guard. Gore, you are heading up as well.
I drink the shield alchemical.
Jug,
One.
Can I cast Archon's aura while I'm moving up?
yes.
Cool. Then I
Did-
will do that.
did you miss Mara's turn? Or
So Mara's turn was her
Oh.
throwing.
okay, fair.
Cool.
So you're making your way up. It is now back to Coriel.
So I will
Now would be fire a stealth check.
Cool. So I'll 5-foot step.
Yep.
And I just want to double check what penalty I take for moving. So this includes the bonus from invisibility, but doesn't include penalties for moving.
Okay.
But what I'm
You
about
are
to do
confident
is
that it hasn't hurt you.
I am about to break that. I just need to double check what. That
Is
includes
indeed a hit.
that includes my studied combat bonus, and on the damage.
Okay. You suddenly appear after stabbing into the turtle worm. It looks surprised and pained.
That's my turn.
Mara, you can now see the turtle worm now that Coriel has helpfully stabbed it for you.
That is very nice of Coriel. I am, however, going to keep going in on these two before they get a chance to join the fight. So I'm going to hurl another bomb across the river at this one again.
Okay. I'll tell you free. The one on the right is injured enough that splash damage will probably kill it. If you want to
Splash
aim for the
damage
other one.
6, it is 6.
Mhm.
Cool.
Just so you don't, if you don't want to like waste a bomb on a weak target, and hit the other one and possibly kill both.
Yeah, in that case, I will scoot up a little ways closer to the bank, and I'll target the other one.
Okay.
No more true strike, sadly. And that's crit fail.
You ready to sling, but right before it, you just your arm just twitches from the mutagen, and your bomb flies into the cliff place and explodes. Unfortunately,
I would like to use a free action to sulk.
yeah, it turns out there's some growing pains with your literal of fangs and claws. Okay, Jin, you arrive where you are now with your turn. What would you like to do?
Cool. I am going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 forward. I will fire my crossbow with this tassel worm, the one that's already injured.
Okay, make your roll.
Mm-hmm.
That unfortunately slams into the ridge. You know, just so close.
Cool. That's me.
Okay. So, Coriel, good news and bad news. The good news is you see this coming.
Oh,
As a very big tassel worm climbs up the side of the cliff face that it was buried under. The good news is you saw it coming, so you're not caught off guard by it.
good, good.
Cool.
I'm assuming a 12 does not hit you.
12 definitely does not hit me.
A claw swipes up at you, but you're able to move out the way, and it hisses at you, and its breath smells horrific.
Noted.
Another tassel worm. It's got 5 foot slither. And then it's going to first try and bite you.
24
Does
hits.
24 hit you?
Yep.
Okay, what is your CMD?
20.
What's the balance of shield?
Okay, you are not grappled. And then it's going to swipe both its claws at you.
Uh, 24 does hit.
You have to remind me how full attack with natural weapons works with regards to penalties.
-5 on secondary attacks unless they have the multi-attack feat, which is -2.
Okay, so it'll be a 19 and an 8.
Oh, neither of those hit.
Cool. It sneaks past you to get a bite in, and luckily you're able to pull yourself away before its claws come at you as well. And these two are going to both dive into the water. And let's see how good they are at that. Okay.
We up to
Spoil
me
slightly by
now.
saying the close enough for will saves to happen. Okay, Gore. You
Okay.
arrive where you are on the map. What would you like to do?
Gore will see the big one and will shout out to Jin and Mara. You got the little ones, right?
Yeah, you arrive just in time to see the two smaller ones dive into the water.
Yeah. Gore will go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And will bring. Oh, we end up there. Oh, I'll give you a hand. Hang on, I'm going to take that back. They're close enough. If I was to stand here, I could get some swings in.
If you somewhere, sorry.
Here.
Let me check because that might be a slope.
I
Bear
think
with
that's
me.
a cliff. It looks like a cliff.
I will say it's about it's like a 10-foot slide downwards. So it'd be difficult terrain, but you can stand there if you have enough movement.
We've got this. Just get the big boy.
All right. Gore charges running up there. Will drink his second potion and will drink the bull strength.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun. And then Gore will enter into a rage. And once again, gold scales start manifesting upon his skin, and his eyes go even more sort of like a bright shining gold color. And I click the AC penalty.
Oh, do you speak Draconic?
Do I speak Draconic? That's a great question. I do speak Draconic.
Okay, you hear the Tatzelworms hiss the word dragon at you.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay, so how the Tatzelworm that I already prodded with my sword, how battered is it looking so far?
Definitely injured, still doing good, not bloody.
I am going to dab it again.
Okay.
And I'm going to unload my studied strike on it.
Okie dokie, you hit. I'll have to tell me what Study Strike does.
It's just an extra d6 damage. Which,
Yeah, I mean,
but I'm no longer targeted with studied combat.
okay, it is still alive, but it is hanging on by a thread.
Cool. I'm then going to study the big one as my swift action. And just so I'm not by my lonesome and liable to get mobbed, I'm going to acrobatics my way back across the dam.
Okay, nope.
Let's check.
That will almost certainly do it.
So I'm back here.
Okay. Mara,
Hello.
the worms are swimming towards you.
Yes. How deep and fast flowing is this river, and how much trouble do I think I'd be in if I decided to jump in it?
So you would be swimming for sure.
Right, bugger that then.
The Tatzelworms aren't amphibious, so they're having. They don't move through water as easily as they do on the ground. But you would both be swimming if you jumped in.
In that case, ooh, I will delay my turn until they reach me.
Okay. That is fine.
There's no point throwing a bomb at them. They're in water. It won't work very well.
Jin, it looks like these these worms swimming towards you haven't been affected by your aura.
Oh. Uh-oh. I will leave it up for now. Don't think. I'll take another shot with my crossbow as much as I want to cast stuff. Yeah, I'll just take another shot with the crossbow on this one here.
Yeah, so I'll roll their in partial cover for the water, so you'll give them a small bonus to their AC. So that will unfortunately miss.
Ah,
Yeah.
Very, very close though.
I'm so sorry. I've realised I've done a massive dump. If it's too late, I completely understand. Fair cop. If not, instead of delaying my turn, could I drink my alter self instead?
Okay. The big one starts slithering up. And it takes in a deep breath. And then a torrent of gas flows out of its mouth.
Oh dear.
Jin, Gore, and Coriol, can you make me fortitude saving throws, please?
Sure.
Yep.
Where did the 25 come from? Jeez, where's that been all day?
Waiting for this moment.
Okay, so Jin and Coriol, you're able to resist the effects of this.
Just in case it's relevant, just in case it is a fierce liver paralysis.
Sadly, it's poison.
Ah, oh well.
So, you breathe in some of this gas, and you feel it starting to worm its way through your system.
Worm.
It worms its way into your system. You have been poisoned. You take 2 points of strength and 3 points of dexterity damage.
Oof.
Okay.
Oh, I need to harvest me some of this.
2 strength, 3 dex. Cool.
Yep.
Okay.
The worms.
Sorry, wrong button. Guess what I'm casting next?
No prizes for that. Worms make their way up onto dry land. So both of them are going to bite, one at Jin, one at Mara.
Right.
Bite, bite. So that's a 10 versus Jin and 18 versus Mara.
18 does not hit because of my mutagen.
10 doesn't hit me either.
It takes a chomp into what was flesh before, but is now mutated fur and claws. Someone's going to 5, 10, 15. Move over to here and bite Gore. Sorry, 17 to hit.
That is a miss.
Okay. So you take 11 points of piercing damage, and you'll need to...
That's a miss.
Oh, it misses, sorry. Okay. Speaking of Gore.
Okay. All right. Well, conveniently, the big thing I have to fight is now directly next to me, as opposed to me having to move up to it. So I will make a full round attack action.
Okay.
Let us begin. So this is the first attack. A 29 to hit and a 20 to hit.
Both of those will hit. 1 second. Yes, they do.
So that is a grand total of 34 damage.
Okay, you almost bloody it from those 2 swings.
Do I want to bite it as well?
If you're already poisoned, why not?
Yes, true. Can't get more poisoned. I will also bite it. A 17 to hit.
That will miss, or rather, you're not able to bite past its hide.
Good to know.
Okay. Anything else?
Yep, that is me.
At the end of your turn, make another fortitude save, please.
27.
Okay, you are not more affected by the poison. But it's still in your system.
Yep.
Coriel.
Stevie Stabby, I think. In fact, I'm going to move around it so that I'm in a flanking position with Gore.
I don't think you'll be able to.
No? Well,
just
move
because
through it.
the 2 worms are physically blocking the way.
Well, I can move through its space, though, with a high enough acrobatics check.
Okay, fair enough. I'll allow it.
Because that is within the rules.
Yep.
And so there. So that's plus 4 to hit. And stab.
That will hit.
Cool. So that's that 12 points of damage.
This big worm is now bloodied.
That when you say bloodied, is that likely? I don't know if D6 can do much.
Half or below.
Yeah, no, I'll leave that. I'll leave that.
Okay. Mara.
Which of the 2 little worms looks more injured?
The one that Jin is fighting is the one that you hit with a bomb.
Cool. In that case, I'm going to completely ignore the one right in front of me, and turn on the one battling Jin. As the effects of my alter self potion kick in, Mara changes form somewhat and now appears distinctly orcish and is also medium in size. And then I turn my teeth and claws upon the creature in front of me.
I don't know whether to feel like happy I'm being emulated or concerned I'm being emulated.
As I proceed to roll complete and utter garbage on the attacks. Oh wait, no, that's 19 to hit and 1 damage. That's better. For what it's worth, because of the feral mutagen, all of these are made with my primary attack bonus. There's no like offhand demerit penalty. That's the one.
So your bite and your claw both hit, and 1 claw both hit. And this worm is on death's door.
Oh, so close.
So close.
Darn it. Yeah, that's all I got. I'm
So
gonna.
that's a 4-round action, so you can 5-foot step if you would like to.
Yeah, I will 5-foot step. You said this would be like sheer cliff face, didn't you?
So it's like muddy cliff, so it's difficult terrain.
Okay.
You won't be able to 5-foot step on there, but you could stand there without falling in.
Yeah. Can I 5-foot step into that space or not?
Not with the mud there, no.
Cool. In that case, I'm just going to just move there standard and hope the op attack doesn't hit me.
Over to Jin.
Flanking.
Oh, I need to roll will saves for the other worms. 1 sec. What's the DC of your aura?
2 seconds. DC for level 3 spell. It says 18, but I'm not sure that's right.
That sounds about right.
Oh, okay. Yeah. DC 18
So
says it here.
these two up here look like they've been affected.
Oh, good. I'm starting to worry about that. Cool. At a quick glance at Gore, how healthy is Gore looking at the minute?
Apart from poisoned, he looks fine. Doesn't look like he's been physically hurt.
Okay, I will one more attempt to try. I think it's disadvantage to shoot at close range with the crossbow.
They'll get an attack of opportunity against you. But you can 5-foot step away and then shoot.
Sure, I will 5-foot step away this way and then shoot at this one again.
Yep. This is the point where I have to say, unfortunately, there's a -4 penalty for shooting into melee, and you're just shy again. I'm so sorry.
Wait. What's the penalty for?
Shooting into
into
melee.
combat because you're standing next to the one that I'm shooting at.
Ah, sorry.
One shot. I'm so sorry. Your shot hits into a section of its hide and buries itself in. Okay. Big Worm is going to focus its attention on Gore. Full attack.
Case of bruised. Oh, should probably add on my temporary hit points. Come here, temporary hit points.
Gotta get that temp HP.
I suspect it would be useful. No.
It's going to break you twice with its claws.
Mm-hmm.
For a 23 and 13 to hit.
The 13 is a miss, the 28 is a hit.
23.
23 damage.
No, 23 to hit.
Sorry. It's a 21 to hit
21's a hit. That hits.
for 9 slashing damage.
9 slashing damage. Thank you, temporary hit points.
The good news is it doesn't look like it has any more poison breath in it.
That's
Okay.
good.
Oh,
Now for the turtle turns.
I can't harvest it.
So
Makes sense.
this one here is going to bite and claw against Gore.
Mm-hmm.
-3 to hit.
Okay. That's
Nope.
not even close.
I'm passively useful.
And then it's 2 claw attacks.
I feel inspired that you're here, Jen.
You're welcome.
So these will be terrible rolls. It flails in your general direction, Gore.
Excellent.
So this one down here is going to go for Mara. A 24 to hit for the first one.
Upsettingly, that will just hit.
Okay, you take 9 points of piercing damage. And what is your CMD, please?
My CMD. 16.
You are grappled.
Rude. I wonder what grapple does in Pathfinder. Does that just mean I can't move, or does that give me disadvantage on attacks as well?
So it is.
It's upsetting, is what grapple is.
It's upsetting.
So
Cannot
like,
move. You take a penalty to your dexterity.
Oh my god.
What's the dex penalty?
A penalty on all attack rolls and combat maneuver checks, except those to
On your sheet, there's
can't
a
take an
combination,
action that needs 2 hands.
and you can actually just apply grappled, and it'll do it for you.
Oh, that's handy. Thank you.
It's very mean.
And then this worm's going to step up and fight Jin. Right. That will probably miss.
That misses.
Okay. Over to go.
All right. I'll continue my assault of full round attack on the big one.
Slashy slashy.
Slashy slashy. Cool. Does 28 confirm a crit?
Jesus Christ. That's so
Someday.
much damage.
Someday I might roll into the 20s. Someday.
This
I'm sorry. I thought this was a Twitch stream that was safe for under 18s because that's obscene.
You cleave the giant tatzelworm in half.
Is that on the first attack or with the second one? Because I have on the first one. Excellent. Can I pop number 2 into the one right next to my lord, who I'd like to make sure he survives?
Yes.
Any damage? I'm fine. Otherwise, I just can't hit anything.
It's okay, my lord. I'm your bodyguard. That's how this works.
Your
I have been trying to shoot this thing.
cuts through this these tatzelworms like there was no resistance to your action whatsoever.
And then as a little flat, I can't do move actions. As a full round. Yeah, that will do for a turn. That's fine. I don't feel the need to reflexively bite anything.
You should have your bite still available if you'd like to use it.
I can. Oh, go on. I'll bite that guy. He deserves it. Haha. A 27 to hit for 6 damage.
3 shots, 3 kills.
You're watching Gore and Friends.
Mara and friends. Right. If it wasn't for the sheer number of buffs on me right now, I'd be significantly less effective.
Okay, and then at the end of your turn, please make a fortitude saving throw.
Because I am still poisoned and I am potentially dying. A 16, which I believe will fail.
Unfortunately, it will. So this is you take a further 1 strength damage, 3 dexterity damage,
Oh,
and you are still poisoned.
Gore looks quite sick at this point.
The second, give me a second. I'm gonna roll like really badly on the health roll, but
Coriel, everybody's dead, Dave, apart from the one who's currently got a vice grip on Mara.
Okay.
Oh, what a crit.
Perfect.
In all fairness, that is literally my max damage.
Does that one look as though it's been? Has that one been injured?
Just injured.
Not max damage. I could roll more.
So I'm going to study it for my studied combat, and move over there, and give it a stabity.
Okay. That will confirm the crit and kill it. Excellent work.
Nobody,
I maintain that I had that, but thank you.
nobody hurts the halfling.
What about my own
It-
poor life choices?
It releases its grip on Mara as it dies. So that's the end of the combat. But we do need a round to make sure that Gore doesn't die of poison.
I would like to cast Delay Poison on Gore.
Okay. So it suppresses the effects of it for up to, what level are you? 6?
Yeah.
6 hours.
Okay, so I'll put my stats back up again and stop raging.
With my knowledge of all things poison, do I think 6 hours is enough that the effects will have worn off by then? Or do we need to cure him because it'll start poisoning him again in 6 hours' time?
I am honestly not sure. I'm going to have to check. And it does not affect it until the spell's duration is expired.
It's more a question of how long how long acting is the poison breath.
Okay, so from your best guess, it's not going to heal any damage that's already been done.
Yes.
But the chances are pretty good that Gore will be able to naturally suppress the poison by the time the spell expires. It's very unlikely that it doesn't.
Excellent. Follow-up question. Am I able to harvest any poison out of this dead creature?
I'm going to say maybe, and check up some things in between sessions and see what you
Valid.
got. Because this is gas rather than like a venom.
Okay,
Uh,
I'm not saying no. I'm saying maybe.
so by the time that stays there, okay,
Yes, the poison needs 2 consecutive successful saves in order to suppress the poison. And you think, given that you're rolling every 6 seconds, your chances of missing that in 6 hours are minimal.
there we go.
There you go. So after about, I'd say that's about 30 seconds or so, you're able to
Yeah.
breathe again, and the damage that's been done has been done, but the poison kind of exits your system.
How long would it take for that to recover?
So it does heal naturally.
I was about to say if everyone wants to move 30 feet away from the worms, I can just start casting heal
But
spells.
Jin can also has a spell to heal it.
I wasn't like, is it just normal heals or do I need to cast Lesser Restoration as well?
It's lesser restoration specifically.
Okay, I will cast Lesser Restoration on him.
So you'll need to do it once for the strength damage, once for the dexterity damage. It heals, I believe it's 1d4 damage every time.
Okay, so I'll cast it twice then.
Okay. I'm currently suffering 4 strength damage and 6 dex damage.
Oof.
Do you need me to cast it again then, or?
Well, we roll your d4s and we'll see how we work.
It will
So
heal at a rate of 1 damage per day. So if you
one each
so
be fine.
resting, for example, would heal 1 strength, 1 dex damage. And then,
okay, if we are resting at the end of the night, I will cast this multiple times. So I can cast this 4 more times essentially. So, what do you want me to do first? Your strength or your dex?
Strength first, please.
Nice.
Cool, that's fixed. And
And
then
dex.
dex, please. And again. That'll do.
And
I'll heal the last point off tonight.
and then when everybody's 30 feet away from the tassel worms, I'm going to roll Channel Divinity and heal everybody for 13.
Cool. Lovely. So you're able to drag the bodies to shore to try and harvest things from them. You're able to have a look through the dam system to search through. I'll explain after the session what you managed to find, because there's like miscellaneous bits and pieces from the bodies of the creatures that are clearly victims of their hunting. And you're able to make a bit of distance, set up a camp, and rest for the evening. So, excellent work on the diplomacy/hunting side of things. I'm impressed. I'm impressed by your ability to talk to Jubilos and Arthur.
Pure customer service mode.
I enjoy role playing him a lot. You'll probably see more. But that's where we're going to end the session for today because James and Lucy will head off fairly soon. So we'll close things out at this point. So, looking at next session, the normal time we would be running the second Saturday is the 9th of December, but we will work out when everyone's free. December obviously being an awkward month on occasion, and let people know. So I want to say thank you to my players. This was a very fun session. Lots of roleplay, which I always love to see. I will tally up experience points and any treasure that you found along the way and hand those out in between sessions. Thank you to everyone, anyone who's watching on Twitch or later YouTube. Really do appreciate it, even though I don't have the attention span necessary to respond. And thank you to anyone who's given donations on our local giving link. General intelligence is a cause close to my heart, and a really important charity in general. So really do appreciate anyone who's able to spare donations for that. Hopefully we will see everyone in December. But until then, that has been this session of Gendermaker. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you
Bye,
very much.
everyone.